just when you thought home prices will come down, well, we are seeing the opposite. And millennials, also known as the avocado toast generation, are blaming the baby boomers for the lack of housing inventory and affordability. So let's dive deeper into this matter, and I'll let you know my thoughts on what I think is right, what I think is wrong. Let's go right in.
Millennials might be the unluckiest generation when it comes to economic growth. Some have blamed avocado toast. A recent insider article reveals another economic struggle. They are now being outbid and pushed out of the housing market.
So let's start understanding who the baby boomers are, that generation. One was the largest demographics. Now they've been overtaken by the millennials. But their impact in the housing market, it's undeniable. Owning between 18 to 21 trillion dollars in real estate, one of the benefits they had is they started ownership at a very early age. They were the generation where they were taught by mom and dad they needed to buy a house. That was the best and fastest way to start saving for their future retirement, for kids, and so on. So the benefits of this ownership that started early, plus the post-World War II economic boom, allowed them to get all this wealth. And that was not only through that, because they also purchased their main residence. Many of them have 2 homes, vacation homes, and some of them became like mini landlords, investors, where they were buying and selling real estate. And it was at a point where real estate, it was a good thing for a lot of these people. So they went ahead and bought all this real estate, kept it, and then flipped it later on. So that was the mentality. They didn't care about the condition of the homes. They didn't care about a lot of these things. They thought that by owning real estate and holding it for a period of time, they should be able to see some growth down the road. So that's one of the many benefits of these people. But again, the idea is, why are millennials blaming the boomers? So another big reason why these baby boomers are better situated in the real estate is because they have decided to age in place. Yes, their health has improved. The baby boomers, one of the benefits they have over their previous generation was they have a better health. They don't need to move into a retirement community once they reach an age of retirement. A lot of these people have decided to actually stay in their homes and take some of that equity and fix their houses so they can age in place and live longer in their current situation. So that, compared to the previous generation, has reduced the number of homes that will come on the market as a resale for many of these millennial buyers. So just because they are keeping all this, holding longer into real estate, and the millennials are starting to come to an age where they need to buy houses, that's one of the main reasons why prices have gone up. A lot of these baby boomers I'll also call snowbirds, meaning they live in the northern states or portions of the country, but they also own real estate in the Sunbelt states down where it's warmer. So in the winter months, they are able to travel and spend winter months down south. So again, now you imagine one family, one couple owning 2 pieces of real estate. So there is definitely starting to create a shortage of inventory for a lot of these millennials that could potentially have owned either a house on the northern side or in the Sunbelt. So additionally, these baby boomers have decided to become investors, because I said it at the beginning, they were taught that real estate was one of the fastest ways to accumulate wealth and build wealth for the future. So a lot of these Airbnb ideas are actually, the boomers are the one that are benefiting from a lot of these things, because they have the equity in the homes. They can pull that money out. Some of them are still at a working age where they are choosing not to retire when they reach the retirement age, and they continue to be there a little bit longer. So they're continue to work more. They have good jobs, good benefits. They're going to have a good pension. And now they pay their houses off earlier compared to a lot of the millennials that don't have that mentality. And now they have decided to start investing in properties. Why? Because they need additional income, whether it is they buy something that can be used as an Airbnb short-term rental, or they're also buying stuff that can be used as a long-term rental, meaning you can rent it out for more than 6 months to a year to one family, one individual. That's kind of like the mentality these people have, and the buying power, and they see that huge growth of real estate wealth. That's why they are able to afford a lot of these things that we're seeing nowadays. But now, why are we saying that the millennials are blaming this, because in so many cases, the parents, the baby boomers, are actually helping their children with a down payment or their first home they're going to be buying. Okay, so that's, now we have to put a whole different things here in perspective for people to understand why it is. But one thing also that it came across to another article says that millennials are demanding that the baby boomers update their homes before they sell them when they put them on the market, because the millennials are demanding more flashy, what I call it HGTV style homes that they want to move in. They don't want to do any work. They don't want to have a big backyard. All they want to do is have a place that they can come, they can sleep there, they can entertain, they can have more of an open concept style properties, and then they don't need to do any work or very minimum, or they're going to hire somebody else. So the millennials now think like, because of the boomers are not wanting to move out of their properties because they want to age in place longer. Two, they are also have the wealth that they have been able to accumulate over years in order to buy more additional properties. That is what's driving the prices of homes going up and up and up, and it's making it very unaffordable for the millennials. Now, the millennial generation, it's a whole different generation. They were not necessarily taught by their parents that they needed to buy real estate to begin this. Some of these millennials have decided to start families at a later age compared to the boomers, so that is another factor. So basically, millennials are saying, let's go to college, let's graduate, and keep in mind that's mom and dad helping with to pay for college, and a lot of them, others have to go into debt, and then they are now going into enjoying life after they graduate. Some of them want to have trips, some of them want to just enjoy the vacation, and then they decide to marry. So the millennials actually getting married at a later age compared to the boomers. So now that all of them have married at these late 20s, early 30s, now they have this big demand for housing, but not necessarily the housing that the boomers have owned, especially if it hasn't been updated. So all those things, it's millennials have a craving, a demand for newer homes, more shinier stuff, more brighter stuff, more like things with the smart thermostat, cameras, and all those things, versus the boomers do not grow with those things, and they may have some houses that are not necessarily will fit this. So the millennial has to not only have to overpay for real estate, buy a house without having to do a home inspection, but now they have to upgrade their homes if they're buying a house that is in a good neighborhood with good schools in a good location, and more specifically, if it has a nice commute. So that's kind of like the challenges that we're seeing right now with a lot of these problems. My professional opinion is that baby boomers are not necessarily the ones that we need to blame for this. I think that just the baby boomers had a whole different mentality when it came to about buying real estate, and that is a whole different thing. They were trained, they were taught in a whole different way than most people are doing right now. So I think they are better prepared and equipped, and their health is better, so they're able to stay in their homes longer. They're able to fix their houses. They're able to do whatever they want with their homes, add another floor and additions, because it is now interest rates. It's also a big thing, right? Interest rates for a lot of the baby boomers that took advantage when interest rates were in the high 2s or low 3s, they went ahead and refinanced for those that still have a mortgage. And now their question for them is, why am I going to need to sell my house when whatever I go and buy, it's going to be one, smaller, it's going to be modern, but it's going to be higher, not only in price, but in interest rate. So they're just choosing to stay in their home. So that resell a snowball effect of homes that normally need to come onto the market, it is not necessarily coming there. So I don't think it's fair to blame them, but I think there's some of their decisions, it's kind of what is slowing down a little bit the inventory that we need to see in this kind of market. The boomers are a better prepared generation compared to the millennials. One of the disadvantages of millennials is having to have a student debt. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and I see it every time when I'm dealing with millennials. They want to buy their first home, they have to have a student debt. Thankfully, because of the parents, if they did a smart decisions and they bought multiple properties, they're able to also get gifts from the parents to buy their first property. So I think that rather than blaming them, we should probably go after and seek wisdom from them and try to see if they can help us buy something as the millennial generation. I think that's it that I covered in today's video. I hope you find a lot of value in this, and please do me a big favor, hit that like button and smash that subscribe so that you can see videos like these every week that will come to your screen. Thank you very much again. Robert Garcia here with the Capital Chris Group of Long & Foster, based in Rockville, Maryland, licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Take care. Bye-bye.